Welcome back, everyone. This afternoon, partly sunny skies with a chance of an isolated or scattered thunderstorm. Where have you heard that before? Almost every day the last 2 weeks. And here to talk about what has been a very soggy summer of 2013 so far is 13 ABC meteorologist Jeff Cornish. Jeff, thanks for making the 4-foot walk over from the forecast center.
Yeah, I had a connecting flight in Atlanta, but we made it over here. It's been wet. It has been
really
wet.
has, and I just felt, we've done stories about the impact on farmers. Can't get into the fields in some cases because they're so waterlogged. And we've gone through a stretch where we went over 10 days, straight days, with rain.
At the airport, too. Yeah, not just some place maybe in Wyandotte County or something, but specifically at the airport. We had rain more than 10 days in a row as we ended June and began the month of July. And July 1st, we had a high of 68. People were usually not having trouble getting out to the pool this time of the year, but this time around, we have had some trouble with the warm air. And it's been cool and wet, though. The wet weather is the big thing.
The moisture and just the feel, it's been muggy and just you can't really plan your day. There's always that chance you could get hit with a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. And lately, it's been any time of the day.
It really has been. We have a graphic to show. This was one of the 10 wettest Junes. We just finished the month of June about a week ago, and it was the 8th wettest. Our records go back to 1873. So in about 130 some years, 140 years, this was the 8th wettest June in the books. We were about 2 inches shy of the all-time record back in 1981. But it's been wet. We've had a few episodes of flash flooding. Usually the river levels drop down this time of the year. They've been running high. Here's a nice photo from one of our viewers at Sidecut Metro Park, and we've been seeing those river levels not flooding. We haven't had a whole lot of that.
They're high.
But they're high.
No question. I go to Sidecut a lot, and they're higher than they have been. Talk about year to year. Last summer, I mean, it's been extreme to extreme.
It's
the
true.
Drought of 2012, and then now this. And as a professional, why?
Well, we have a graphic to show you the overall flow here. I've noticed that it's rare that you find a farmer that's totally happy with the weather pattern.
Sure.
It's often either too wet or too dry, and I understand that you're absolutely at the mercy of Mother Nature when you're working in the ag industry. This map shows how rainfall has been different from normal over the past 30 days. And you'll notice that out in the west, it's been very dry, but here in the east...
about 190 degrees out there.
Yeah,
so, it's incredibly hot.
Yeah, really hot out in the desert southwest. And here in the east, we've been under the big trough with the unsettled weather and the cool air. And the heat out in the west does go kind of hand in hand with the cool air here in the east. This is a map that we usually would not show you on the air. We try to keep it a little more simple and straightforward so you can just determine if you need to grab that raincoat or what to wear the next day.
Okay, what is this?
This is the upper level flow, up around where a 747 would fly, 30,000 feet up.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. About 6 miles up there. And these are the winds that usually steer things along in the atmosphere. And the problem lately, that big red L over the central U.S., and we've been dealing with the influence of that, that's been cut off from those steering winds. So this stubborn area of low pressure has been spinning over Missouri and Iowa and Illinois for the past week and a half to 2 weeks.
Everything going just kind of counterclockwise, right? Normally this stuff gets pushed off to the east, and it's just kind of doing a whirly bird.
It's just kind of spinning there, and there's a big area of high pressure off the east coast. We call it the Bermuda High, and that is just kind of blocking things in the atmosphere, contributing to that flow from the south. So it's muggy out there, it's warm out there today, and that flow is from the Gulf of Mexico. The air we're breathing not too long ago was down in Alabama and off the Yucatan Peninsula. So that kind of tag team effort there between high pressure to the east and low pressure to the west is funneling all that really juicy air right up into northwest Ohio and southeast Michigan.
It's a squeeze play.
It's a squeeze play.
Yeah.
Now there are good signs though. If you're waiting for dry weather and maybe even some more warmth where you don't have to worry about the storms, later this week there's a chance, and it does look...
The weatherman's best friend, the chance.
We're not known for being the most sure-footed bunch in the world's population. But it does look like there's pretty good agreement among the different computer models, which we use when we're forecasting, that at the end of this work week, there will be a cold front that finally pushes things through, and we should finally see the dew point, that muggy factor drop, and that'll also take the rain chances away for at least a little while.
Okay, and so here, I'm going to put you on the spot here since we're taping this at the end of the week, and now it's Sunday morning at 11:20.
All right.
Is it raining right now?
You put it This is like doing a radio forecast where you pre-record it and
yes,
everybody's
yes.
surrounded by windows when they're listening to that. It's probably not raining at this moment, but later today, we often talk about that 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. window. It warms up, scattered showers and storms become more likely because they're driven by that contrast between warm near the ground, colder overhead.
No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That's your job, though, man.
It is.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
What about the long-range forecast? We do these 7-day forecasts. Sure. Those are difficult. It's tough to project 7 days out.
That's true.
But people tend to look for the 90-day outlook.
The 90-day, yeah. There's no really strong signal right now. Sometimes we'll look at El Nino or La Nina, which sound terrifying. All they are just a difference from the normal temperature way out in the Pacific Ocean along the equator. That's one of the things in the atmosphere that changes very slowly with time. So it's one of the few things we can kind of hang our hat on and say, well, if that is warmer or colder than average, here are the correlations over the continental
What
U.S.
do we have this year? What is there?
It's a pretty much neutral signal,
Okay.
which is not going to sell many newspapers. It's not an exciting forecast. In the absence of a strong signal, we usually go with a near normal or near average forecast. We do expect the persistent rains to finally die down by the middle of this month.
Okay, Jeff Cornish, thanks very much for lending your expertise. We do appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
You know, now you've made it. You've arrived.
All right,
on
this is
Conklin and Company. Thanks very much, Jeff. We're going to come back in just a minute. Take 3 on the way with Skylar Meadows and Tom Troy. We'll talk about the mayoral race and that big sinkhole that made national, international headlines. Back in just a minute.